All right, Caleb, your thoughts on the Lady Vols with a win. And I was completely lukewarm. I didn't know what to think about the Kim Caldwell hire, but I feel like every time I see her coach or hear her talk, I like her a little bit more.
I'm the same way. And she once again did what she does yesterday. They didn't get everything they wanted out of it because they only forced 20 turnovers yesterday to beat Mississippi State. They're not happy unless they're forcing 30. So, but they had 9 steals, but they were very good from 3. They were 12 of 26. Jewel Spear was 4 of 6 from 3. She continues her red hot shooting streak. But also Samara Spencer was 4 of 7 from 3, and Ruby Whitehorn was 2 of 5 from 3. Whitehorn had 20 points, Spencer had 18, and Spear had 13. But also Talasia Cooper didn't hit any threes, but she had a double-double, 16 points and 10 rebounds. And Algeria Spearman, she had 7 points and 8 rebounds. And so, look, this team is, we just had Tony Jones on, and he talked about how if you want to run tempo, you got to have depth. And Caldwell sacrificed just a little bit of talent this year to have enough bodies to be able to constantly go 10, 11, 12 deep and just wreak havoc. And look, I'm telling you, this is the most fun. I mean, Dave, I might, this might be a very hot take right here, but like if Kim Caldwell gets the Lady Vols back to being a national title contending program, it could be the most fun women's basketball team to watch in like the history of the sport. They are so much fun to watch.
They are
with the way they play.
They are. The comment on the message board was this: Kim Caldwell has this team locked in and bought in. I can see an Elite 8 in her first year. Her first recruiting class next year is ridiculous. So pull that up if you don't mind. The recruiting class moving forward. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't completely understand the calendar and how that works in basketball since I've covered football for so long. But this doesn't mean everything. But when she is in a press setting, she never blames players, does she?
Never.
Yeah. But she always calls.
Well, she will like vaguely. She will on a vague sense, but in a way that they should be blamed.
Yeah. So
she was asked about her team getting out rebounded last week. She's like, they got to want to rebound.
Okay, let me ask you this: if they are an Elite 8 program, that's an A+, right?
Yes, that's an absolute A+.
Okay. Sweet 16.
That's still an 8 this year. Yeah.
No, I agree. And I think they will make the Sweet 16. The question is, will they make the Elite 8?
And Dave, I want to break this down real quick because I don't think people are appreciating exactly what she's building right now, because right now the Lady Vols have the number 1 ranked 247 composite recruiting class in the nation. They've got 4 247 Sports 5-stars right now. Okay, and then 1 4-star. They have Denia Prawls, their best player out of IMG Academy. But they also have Jada Civil, the Paldo twins, Mia and Maya, and Lauren Hurst, who's from Cleveland. They are, and by the way, that's a player at every single position that she's got too. They are loading up. This class is loaded. So Kim Caldwell is just getting started. And by the way, what did she say last week? She said, because we're saying when she gets her players, she's like, these are my players. These players here are my players too. And, I love a coach that says that, because one of the biggest losers mentalities, Dave, that I feel like coaches have is when they get to a program and they say, I'm just going to throw this year to the side because these aren't the players I wanted. And it doesn't matter. And I think maybe with all the coaches you've covered, when you do that, you're automatically setting yourself up for failure, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the fans start to resent it. What she's saying right now, you also lose your players if you say something like that in public. So no, that's not a bright statement. Not straight up say, but didn't Lane Kiffin somewhat make that mistake of kind of like really wanting to shove Fulmer's players to the side to make room for his players? Yeah, but he would always publicly, you could tell he was uncomfortable saying it, but I think when he showed up, the talent level was much further down than he ever believed it would be. And he would kind of say, I'm trying to find the way to phrase it. He would say, well, we got to get more of our guys in here. But, he wasn't comfortable with it. He was kind of being honest to a fault, which I appreciated.
Right. Better than what Jeremy Pruitt was doing. I don't know if you know Jeremy Pruitt, his first year was like, don't worry, guys, this is the worst team I want to have while I'm here. Like he just straight up said that publicly, and he said a lot of these guys aren't going to be starting next year. And I'm like, you can't say stuff like that because you really mess up the total culture of your program when you do that. And I'm like, I get it. Like when Nick Saban was at Alabama, yeah, he knew he wasn't going to be good his first year, trying to change the culture. But he was still treating every game that year like he would when they were winning championships, wouldn't he? He was still trying to win every game.
Right. You know what I like about the Caldwell hire is she certainly has a great respect for history. I know she doesn't have a direct tie to Pat Summitt, but I just don't ever sense her leaving. Now, like if the Oklahoma job opened up, I could see Josh Heupel making a move. I could see it. I don't think it would happen. Rick Barnes is going to retire one day. You've got Kim Caldwell for potentially the next 20 years if things go well.
Well, I mean, who if you're into coaching women's college basketball, who would ever leave Tennessee? Like that's like a premier job. But then on top of that, you're right. Kim Caldwell's from West Virginia. So she's kind of like she's staying in Appalachia. So, I mean, she probably feels at home still being in East Tennessee. And, that's not culturally that it can be very similar to West Virginia in a lot of ways. So she probably doesn't feel out of place at all there.
Yep. Adam says, I don't want to jinx it, but this could be a legendary story for Kim and the Lady Vols, first-time mom and first-year coach. Yeah, I think that, would garner some interest if she gives birth in the middle of the season, and that's the plan, is my understanding. If she does that and makes a Final Four run, that's going to be a great story that's going to get Tennessee an awful lot of play.
She got that contract from the University of Tennessee, and her husband's like, I got to secure this bag. I got to get that baby out now so I can secure the bag.
Nice. Yeah, I know.
Just like you notice,
kind of like how Omari Jefferson had his hip procedure at Alabama, and he told us that he was never going to stay there. He knew within 2 weeks, but he said, "Oh, let's go ahead and get the hip surgery." I actually did that once as well at a job that I was going to leave, so I knew what he was thinking.
I was thinking more along the lines of when Patrick Mahomes got his $500 million contract. That the next week was when Brittany got pregnant with their first child. I'm like, oh, she knew what she was doing. She was like, get the contract and then get me pregnant so I can secure the bag if anything goes wrong. Yep. That's how you play the game. That's how you play the game. Kudos to Kim Caldwell's husband. But I think she's doing. I think she. I think it's scary what she can do in a couple of years though, with this number one recruiting class coming in, because now she's got these athletes that can shoot, and that's dangerous. So, I mean, I think in 2 years Tennessee's going to be number one.
Oh, her baby's due January the 20th.
Oh, wow. She coached this late. I swear you're not supposed to travel like this in your last trimester, right?
You're right. I'll give you an example. The Ole Miss game one time that I went down and covered, my wife was 8 months pregnant, and we got home. We stayed at the casino, stayed up late. Everybody rubbed dice on her stomach for good luck because she was like 8.5 months pregnant. We got home and she didn't feel so well, so she went to the doctor. And she said, the doctor's like, what have you been up to? Said, well, I went to the Ole Miss game and we stayed at the casino, so it was kind of a long weekend. And the doctor said, are you an idiot? So, but I'm sure all the proper. I mean, she's got.
Y'all stayed in Tunica, right?
Yes. This goes back to the Jamad McCoy thing. There are plenty of medical personnel around. If she suddenly gave birth on the sideline, that'd be one hell of a story. Actually, I'm rooting for that. But there's plenty of medical personnel that can allow her to travel. No, but I do wonder how long she'll miss once they have the baby.
That's the real question. There is a recovery period that is kind of required. So we'll have to see how that goes. Maybe she'll be back on the sideline in a week.